I do spend much of my time speaking, which means I listen seldom. With the end result, I'm highly uneducated, a fact that will become painfully apparent to all of you shortly. But at least give me credit for the wisdom giving most of my talks to home offices where this deficiency goes unnoticed. Wow, what an introduction. Sound like a Northwestern Mutual 10-year dividend projection. Okay, we're going to help you. Going to give you a lot of sales ideas, okay? You've gotten an awful lot of bad information in selling life insurance, and I'm here to de-ignorify you, all right? I'm going to ask you to throw away your briefcases, throw away the printout material, throw away your programs. Oh, yeah. Knowledge of the product never was and never will be worth more than 5%. Knowledge of people, 95%. And if you ain't got that straight, you got nothing straight. People don't buy insurance. People buy people. I wish that we would get back. I wish we would get back to communication skills. In high school, we give kids 5 math courses, 1 communication course. We should give them 5 communication courses and 1 math course. I've been out of college 22 years. I learned that sine over cosine equals tangent. I've been out 29 years and nobody has brought that up. I'm waiting for somebody to say, what does sine over cosine equal? For the next 40 minutes, I want you to think that you must make a commitment to excel. Excel, which is both difficult and rare. I'm going to ask you to make a commitment to excellence. I don't understand how people can wallow in the sea of mediocrity and find that sufficient. You owe it to yourself to get in the game. There comes a time when the athlete must leave the locker room. You see, we are living in a critical society. People are criticizing everybody. Please make note of this. I've spoken in 31 countries. I have never seen a statue of a critic. Never. You see, it's easy to sit in the stands. The National Football League every fall gathers together on Sunday and plays games. And you'll see somebody in Section K screaming at the quarterback, "You big dummy, you big..." I think some Sunday they ought to blow the whistle and say, "You in Section K, suit up, you're starting." Oh, those guys are big when you get down there. They don't look too big from Section K, but they are big. In the selling of our product, please take this to heed. Before you speak, make doggone sure you improve upon the silence. Now, I'm going to give you a couple ideas here. There's only 4 kinds of people in the world. I told you that, and I want you to think about that. 4 kinds of people in the entire world. Number 1. The uninformed incompetent. The uninformed competent. The informed incompetent. And the competent informed. Now that's all there is, brother. There ain't no other kind. Now there's very few uninformed incompetent people. There are very few competent informed people. Most people are competent but uninformed. If we took a common denominator in this room, you are bright. You are bright. But that's God-given. Can't take any credit. Brains, they got all the brains you want in a slaughterhouse. Non-operative. There's a ton of them walking around. They ain't functioning too good. People drinking. They see that sign, "Drink Canada Dry." You go up and try it. You ever hear somebody say they need a drink to relax? Did you ever hear that? That is the dumbest statement you can ever make. I want to tell you about a drink. When they tell me that, they told me they know nothing about chemistry or alcohol. You see, alcohol freezes the brain. And most people I meet can't afford much more freezing. All right? They're hell when they're well, but they've been sick so long. All right. All right. Those four people all fall into two economic groups. Please draw this on every appointment you have. When you come down, if you're in someone's home, put it on a yellow pad. Throw out all that other stuff. I learned that from John Dillinger, one of the greatest teachers of all time. Hey, don't laugh. He was a great gangster. If you're going to be something, be great. Height of a robbery in Chicago. At noon, the alarm went off. He says, Charlie, out the back window. Harry, out the grate. Bill, out the basement door. They said, where are you going, boss? Sirens are coming and the cops. He says, I'm walking out the front door and getting the car. See, when the cops come, they chase the guys going out grates, back doors, front. Ain't bothering nobody that's walking. Did you ever steal an orange? Who got caught? The guy ran. Just walk casual. So you got an orange in your hand. Oh! When Jesse James, the height of his robberies, did he run into the train? He went up, galloped alongside, hopped aboard, grabbed the bags, hopped back, rode away. You people are colliding. Colliding. It's a collision course when you have an appointment. You come in with your briefcase and your $400 suit, kicking hell out of everybody mentally. I'm a CLU. Please write these two circles down the next appointment you have. There are only two kinds of people economically in the entire world. People that spend and save what's left. And a very few people that save and spend what's left. Listen carefully. These people always work for these people. I tell every one of my prospects that. Which group do you want to be in? They all want to be in here. Less than 2% of our society, however, is there. So I just go like that. Where did I learn that? In the neighborhood. When I was a young kid, there was a kid in the neighborhood. Had a list, all the kids he could whip in the neighborhood. He's sporting that list around. One of the tough guys says, hey man, let me look at that list. He looked, they said, you got my name on that list. You can't whip me. He said, I'll scratch it off. 2 years ago, I had $185,000 of cash value in my life insurance. My accountant says, John, you can do a lot better with your money. I said, what are you doing with yours? He said, I ain't got any. Now, that's so dumb for a guy that ain't got any. Tell a guy got a whole lot of it, what to do with it. Now, I'm about to give you this next interview. When you see these 7 circles displayed, and you take this home with you, it will close every sale. Last year, I had 4 appointments that didn't result in a sale. I can't imagine having an appointment and not selling. I can't imagine it, because I know what I'm doing. Now, listen carefully. If you're going to excel, you must know sociology, psychology, philosophy, finance, marketing, management, economics, and insurance. Oh yes, no longer acceptable for you to know insurance. No longer. Now I'm going to draw these 7 circles. And you can draw this, and by the way, this is advanced underwriting. You know what an advanced underwriter is, don't you? The guy gets there first. All right, now. The 4 circles on the 4 corner of your yellow pad or a blackboard. In my office, I have all board, white board. And my appointments, closing appointments, are all in the office. Draw 3 circles in the middle. Now label these circles accordingly. The lower left-hand corner, put down income. The lower right-hand corner, put tin can. Tin can. Always use in your presentation what everybody can understand. I don't use any words. Everybody in the world knows what a tin can is. Upper right-hand corner, home. Upper left-hand corner, human life value. Now we have the middle 3. In the first one, put bank account. First circle to the left of the 3 in the middle, bank account. Middle, investment. Last, insurance. Label under insurance an S for savings, and under a bank account, S for savings. In the bank account, put 6% on the upper part for the return in most passport savings. In the upper right, put 2% for insurance. FTC came out and they said 2% insurance. Remember that? People got upset. I gave them a standing ovation. I'm thrilled. Now, the middle is investment. Now draw a line from income, lower left, to the bank. Now put 3 circles in between income and bank, diagonally. Now these 3 circles, food, shelter, clothing. Pretty basic, isn't it? Those are the social demands on the pocketbook, which keep people from going from their income to the bank. Now this is exactly how I conduct an interview. I say to the young couple, this guy's 35 years of age. Put the 35 above the investment. His income is $30,000 a year. Write it in the income circle. An opening statement I use is that, sir, most people find it difficult to save half their income. What do you think he's saying? My whole interview, people shake their head up and down and say yes. I never give one statement that I don't know the answer to. If you've been reading books on overcoming objections, throw them away. I get no objections. If you're reading books on closes, throw them away. That's as antiquated as a hoop skirt. There are no closes, ladies and gentlemen. I want to ask you very, very succinctly, how are your openings? You make the sale in the first 10 minutes of the interview. People like you or they don't like you. Oh, I know when you were trained, they said, now remember, if they turn you down, they ain't turning you down. They're turning the product down. Wrong. They're turning you down. Why? You're no good. Oh, I know they're not going to tell you that because they want to be liked. People in management want to be liked, so they say, oh, that's okay, don't worry about it. You've had 20 straight no's. Things are bad. You ain't kidding. 20 straight no's, things will always be bad. That's not profound. I want you, when you leave here today, every appointment results in a sale. Won't that be good? Now here, I have 30 years of this, honing and honing and honing. This presentation ain't got any leaks, gang. You get this one and incorporate this, and I want to tell you, I have received in the last 4 years at least 5,000 letters that told me it is working. Now let me help you. Don't send me any letters unless you don't want an answer, because I don't answer my mail, because I'm not in the mail business. I'm in the selling business and the raising children business and the relaxing business. All right? Because you can get pen pal. People say, well, John, I was at your meeting and I didn't understand. Then you're an idiot. Okay? My gracious, this stuff is pretty simple. Now, if you ex-football players, I'll try to go slow. All right, now. All right, let's get on with the interview. Now, listen carefully. I say to the young couple, the most important facet in financial planning is a bank account. Did you hear what I said? I'm the only one in the United States lecturing across this country that is telling people the most important facet in financial planning is a bank account. Now, you know why I say that? Because it is. Because they think it is. Do you know where they've got insurance? Huh? At the bottom of the barrel. So what are you going to try to do? Uplift it? You're going to go through all their chemistry and tell them insurance is the most important. Dumb. Now, the least important facet of financial planning is insurance. Why? I believe that. Now be patient, because you're going to like the results. I told you, a little painful going through, but the results are beautiful. Now, those are both savings vehicles. If you're going to concentrate all your attention on the middle circle, investments. If you're going to make strides in our capitalistic system, you must ultimately concentrate all your attention on investments. What are investments? Stocks and bonds, land and buildings. I draw a line to the left out of the investment and put stocks and bonds. Line to the right, land and buildings. Lower left, oil, coal, and gas. Lower right, pension and profit sharing plan. All four of those are phalanges that come out of the inner circle. Put the pension plan, put the profit sharing plan. But please remember this, young folks. There's only one kind of person that invests before they save. A dumb person. Bright people save first and then invest. If you're going to be a client of mine, we must get $20,000 in the bank. And I put $20,000 right above the bank circle. Now, if you're going to be a client of mine, eventually you'll have $20,000 in cash value life insurance. And I put that above the insurance circle. But remember, this one is of immediacy. This one, I don't care if it takes us 20 years, insurance. But listen carefully. I have never found anyone that had 20 there and 20 there that ever had a problem here in the middle investments. I'm searching for people that have a more sounder approach to financial planning than that. You see, I no longer can sell insurance. I must be a total financial planner. Now, savings, investment. Similar words, but as Mark Twain said, the difference between a similar word and the right word is the difference between lightning and the lightning bug. They have nothing in common. They're in different parts of the dictionary. 2 books that I want you to master. Bible and the dictionary. Learn the definition of each word in the dictionary, and you'll never have a problem. I tell it to my kids. They say, what? I say, you don't have to do it tonight. You have a lifetime. All right? I run into so many people that only have a 20,000 word vocabulary. Can you imagine walking around and dealing with people and not having a larger vocabulary than that? See, you must always be prepared, but don't teach. Your job is not to teach. Your job is to serve. You can't teach somebody. You can only serve them. There's no way you can educate your buyer. You got to make it simple. Now, the first lesson I'm going to give you today, and I tell them this in the meeting, the difference in savings from 6% to 2%. Anybody want to volunteer the answer? 4%. Everyone says that. So I want you to make this just a normal interview. When I ask somebody the difference in savings between 6% and 2%, they all say 4%. And I say, wrong. If this was an arithmetic test, you would all get 100. But this isn't arithmetic. This is savings. In savings, the difference between 6% and 2% is 0. What? Oh, yes, I'll explain that. I'll never give you anything I won't explain. I need the tin can, though, for a moment, and I want to bring it up and put it alongside the insurance. Now I've got the 4 circles side by side, and this is tin can. It is a savings vehicle, you'll all admit, and you'll also agree it pays no return. Now I'm going to ask you. What's the first name? Harry. Harry, if you put $500 a month in this vehicle and $500 a month in this vehicle, pointing to bank and insurance, and a $500 a month into the tin can, every month for 5 straight years, at the end of 5 years, where will you have the most money? If, in fact, listen carefully to this addition. When the money goes in the tin can, it goes in a vise. The top opens, we put the 500 in, and the top slaps down. It only opens up each month for us to put it in. You can't touch it for 5 years. However, in the interim, you have open accessibility to these 2 other vehicles. At the end of 5 years, where will you have the most money? Every one of my clients answered exactly the way he did, in the tin can. So please listen carefully, folks. The success or failure of a savings account has nothing to do with the return. Rather, the systematic methodology of putting money in. That's what dictates a successful savings program. Not the return. You've been caught up in the literature. All right. Now that little bit right there puts you in a beautiful posture. All right? Because that's all life insurance is. A tin can. Remember my accountant? About 5 years ago, a couple in Indianapolis, and I tell this to my prospect, I tell this in the appointment. 5 years ago in Indianapolis, Indiana, there was a woman beaten up by 5 hoodlums, killed, and they found $3 million in barrels in the woman's house. Now, if anybody, that was national news. You know what my accountant said? John, wasn't that dumb? She had $3 million in barrels. I said, dumb? What do you got in your barrels? I went home and checked my barrels out. Not a dime in them. Let me help you. If you got $3 million anywhere, you're doing good. All right? Let me help you, because this is education on finance. I carry $2,000 in cash on me at all times. I was in Monte Carlo, and the Occidental vice president came up to me and said, John, you could get robbed. I said, that's why I carry it. You see, if a guy comes up to you and says, want your money, you give him $2,000, he's happy. Happy people do not shoot. He ain't never been in the street. You go up there and say, I want your money. Ain't got any. Bang. That upsets a burglar. Have some. All right. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm giving you things that nobody is giving you in this business. I want you to understand money. Nobody understands it. Now let me tell you what's happening. Here's two little circles. You got them? I break everything into twos, if you notice. Twos. Two Bible, the dictionary. Master every word, you're in good shape. Two little circles in the United States of America last year. 95 and 5. You know what that is? 95% of America last year spent every dime they made. 5% saved. You got that? I'm going to erase it. We'll run out of room. See, we can't do that in my office because my office's whole front end is bored. I need to create. I need to conceptualize, and I must not run out of room. All right? I don't know how to fill out an application. I haven't filled one out in 5 years. My secretaries do. I don't do anything that anybody else can do. You see, if you're doing something a lot, like I do in sales, then you're going to get good. And pretty soon you get good. You get good. I'm not too good at handwriting. I'm not too good at filling out apps. I'm not too good at a lot of things. Never made a cold call in my life. Never sent a direct mail letter out in my life. Ain't gonna. This is good. It's all referrals, and I'll get into that too. Next thing. I tell my client, how would you like a small fortune? Well, yeah. Put a large fortune in mutual funds. See, people got bad memories. They really do. I'll tell you. The collective mentality out there economically is at about a 1. They got bad memories. I want you to understand finance. I don't have enough time, but this should open your eyes a little bit. Your product is alive and well. And well. Hey, I deal with the masses. If you serve the masses, you will eat with the classes. If you serve the classes, you will go belly up. Wait, the next question I ask here. Would you like to have $20,000 in the bank? What do you think they all say? Yeah! Ooh, isn't that good? You know why they say yeah so enthusiastically? They never had it there. You see, everybody's talking about these myths. I wish some of them would come by my office. I had 300 appointments last year. 112 people ain't never going to buy again, but I still see them every year. They're my clients. 12 of them said, don't you think we should insure my wife? And I said, okay. Sold some on their wife. But they got all they're ever going to buy, all they're ever going to need. But I still have them come by. See, most of you people don't have an appointment unless you think you can sell somebody. Dumb. Those people are going to send people to you. Happy people send other people. And other people coming to me become happy people. Now, if you're going to be a client of mine, we got to get this to $20,000. How much do you have in the bank? You can't believe what they tell me. 1,000? 2,000? And you're talking about ready asset funds? And you're talking about CDs? They got the spenders problem. Spenders Anonymous. By the way, for you smokers, you know they have Cigarettes Anonymous now. In the middle of the night, if you wake up and you really want a cigarette, you call your buddy. He gets up, gets dressed, comes over to your house, and you get drunk together. All right. Now, put the $1,000 in the bottom of the circle inside. And tell them you want to get to 20,000. And that's primary uno right there. That is number one to get to 20,000. Once you get there, we're going to dump it into investments. Most of my money is in investments. But it didn't get there till I saved first. They've got to show me they have the discipline and the denial to get their money in here. Does this make sense to you? I say that in the interview. You know what they say? See, after they've been doing that for a half hour, it's physiologically impossible to say no. You can't say no doing this. You've got to do this. Understand people. It's like you're coming down on the fast break. You give a guy a head fake. He doesn't move. Give him another fake. He doesn't move. I want to tell you what you do. Wait for your friends. You need help. All right? Now, can you save $1,000 a month? Hell no! How do I know he can't save $1,000 a month? Just the way he said that. I don't need a book. Can you save $800 a month? John, we can't save $800 a month. I knew that. I know the answer to every question I throw out. How about $400 a month? John, we've got to start somewhere. I think if we work diligently, we can save $400 a month. I said, that's good. That'll put you in the upper 1% in America. Hear what I said? 1%. But I want you there because I'm saving it. And I started with nothing. They all know my background in town. My relatives think I steal. But $400. Now watch where we write the $400 down. Right below the investment circle. $400. Now, like look at your policies. Remember you were told, pick up policies, weigh and evaluate them, get back to the people in 3 weeks. RIN 1010 can evaluate the policy in a minute. You open the policies up right in front of the people. See, you think you got to have equipment to do all this accelerated work. I use no calculators. I use no computers. I just use this. And by the way, it's degenerating rapidly across the country. I ask people what 65 times 65 is. They say, well, just a minute. Just a minute. It's 4,225. Now, the reason they can't give me that, this ain't been working for so long. Kids in school, they're given calculators. Unbelievable what's happening. The brain ain't working. Now, what you do is turn to the truth section in the policies. The truth section, that's the cash value. You open each contract, and the number average I'm running into is 5 policies. Now, the companies are kind to us. You don't need a calculator. You go down to the age, and the first one has $1,100. They end in 0. They're very kind to us. They know we're very, very limited. 1,100. Then the second policy is 400 cash value. Now, what you do is add those two together, and soon you'll arrive at 1,500. Then the next one is 300. That's 1,800. And the next one's 250. 2,050. The next one's 100. 2,150. And the last one's 0. Okay? Now, what you do is go over and put 2,150 in the insurance bucket. And I said, do you realize? You probably up to this point thought insurance was a bill. What do you think they say? Yeah. Isn't it funny? You got $2,150 in the bill group, and you got $1,000 in the savings. You should have had more bills. Often the young lady will say, do you mean to tell me we can get that money? I said, oh yeah, I'll give it to you tonight, right out of my checkbook. You want $2,150? You got it, brother. But I want to do that because you see, you understand the tin can? She said, yeah. It's a forced savings. We're losing the greatest thing we got. And we're losing it. Don't say the outside forces, they couldn't collectively get together and do anything. They just pop up every 6 or 7 years. Insurance agents at a Boston sales congress I just did selling diamonds. Selling diamonds. Don't know enough about insurance. Know nothing about finance. Know nothing about marketing. Know nothing about psychology. And now they don't know nothing about another thing, diamonds. Can you imagine selling something you don't know anything about? Well, the people want it. Wrong. The people want the truth. And it's so rare that it surfaces. All right? Now, you get in the picture? This is financial planning. Now, remember what I told you? This is going too quick. I tell them that. you're going to get to 20,000 before you know it over here. Now, doggone it, this is the most important one. I want this to get to 20,000. Now, what we want to do this year is put 80% of this money over here in this savings. That's the most important. So we'll have 3,200, and next year when you come, we'll be 4,200 in the bank, and we'll be almost 23% on the way to getting the 20,000 in the bank. Now, I want the other $80 to go over here. So next year when you come, there'll be 4,000 here. Now, where did I get the 4,000? The old policies. One more year and add it across. Isn't that simple? Because I don't know where the 80's going. We're doing programming. We're doing estate planning here. I don't know what the $80 is going to be used for. I may need all term insurance to get the job done. I don't really care. I sell everything. Term is good. Now, does this make sense to you? Yeah. They all go, yeah. Have patience. I say now, if you've been observing, and you ladies, some of you wives that are here will really get a kick out of this portion, you notice the home is neither an investment nor a savings. Remember last year when they had the ad where the guy walked in the living room? Probably the greatest investment you will ever own is your home. Then he walked out in the garage with the oil cans and said the second greatest investment is your car. Remember that? What would make you think a guy that was lying in the garage was telling the truth in the living room? Anybody that tells you a home is an investment knows nothing about anything. I'd love to have you on national television for an hour if you think a home's an investment. Now, I didn't have to go any further than old John and all my clients I've been serving over the years. I'll explain that, by the way. I never give you anything without giving an explanation, because I understand you think a home's an investment, because everybody's been saying, home's an investment, home's an investment. Oh, got to get one of those. Wrong. Here's what it is. I bought a home, my first one. By the way, my first place of residence was an apartment on Dorr Street in Toledo with my wife and 3 kids. You know what our rent was? $100 a month. I've never had a deal that good. That's what I'll tell you. I've had 2 homes since, and I've never had a deal as good. Our hoses cost $100 now. Now, it cost $65,000 a year to turn the key at my home. 8,000 square feet, 17 rooms. I said, Kate, the Bible says your castle is your home, not your home is your castle. She got it turned around. Now, I bought the new home, the first home, for $27,000 and sold it for $47,000. You know what my wife said? We made $20,000. Showed me she's very good at arithmetic and knew nothing about homes. What do you think happened when I sold my home, Harry? I bought another one. Oh, you think the new one was more expensive or less? Oh, isn't that something? See, everybody's answering the way the client answers. Now, the new one cost $100,000. Now, when you take $47,000 from $100,000, you get $53,000. And when you take the $20,000 profit, I lost $33,000 that day. Now, we've added on. Oh, it's nice. One room, $48,000. An add-on. One room, $29,000. Add-on. Another room, $30,000. Add-on. Another room, $17,000. Add-on. You ready? My home will go for $1 at the state fair in 200 years. Because ain't nobody going to put that kind of money in a home. Now, Holiday Inn might come in, but the neighbors will reject them because it's not commercial. Here's my point. Until you're willing to move in a tent, you can't count it. Till you're willing to move in a tent, you can't count it. People come by every day. John, your home's worth $400,000. I said, write me a check. Oh, we didn't want it. Oh, okay. Because if I sell it, you know what? You got to buy another one. I can't use the money. Well, if you can't use the money, then by definition, it does not fall into finance. Just by definition. Now let's go to the home. What'd you pay for your home? He said $60,000. What's it worth now? $90,000. Put that on the top. 90 on top, 60 underneath. Now, how much insurance do you have on your home? You can't believe what he tells me. $90,000. I said, you're kidding. He says, yeah, we got $90,000 worth of fire insurance on our home. He says, what are you smiling about? I said, well, just a second. I go over to the human life value one. He says, what in the world is the human life value? I said, oh, that's your value. You see, if you never get a raise and you work till you're 65, the human life value is $900,000. Now, if I told you you needed $900,000 worth of life insurance on your life, you'd say, John, you need a treatment. I'm going to take you to the local hospital, get a care for you, top psychiatrist, because, boy, you're sick. But this guy picked up the telephone and said, do you realize the height of inflation, the value of your home has gone from 60 to 90, and you have it way underinsured, and only $20 a month, we can add it. And you said, put it on, brother. And there ain't a home burned down in your neighborhood in the last 25 years. But when you see the cars going by with the flags on them and the black one up front, they ain't practicing. They're going directly to the cemetery and drop off a body. All right? Then I say to the young lady, what do you think your chances are of dying? You can't believe what this girl told me. 3 in 10, 2 in 10. 100%. Your chance of dying are 100%. Now, I don't think you should have $900,000 worth of life insurance. I don't think that. I really don't. But is it asking you too much to insure half? You mean buy $450,000 worth of life insurance? What's my answer? No. No. Why? Well, you said that. You don't need. The government thinks enough of you. They have got $190,000 of decreasing term on you called Social Security. Now, the reason the government put that much Social Security and decreasing term on you, so you didn't have to buy any decreasing term yourself. Isn't that good? Now, $260,000 is all you need. But at work, you got 50. You see, I'm running out of space. That's why I want you to follow me now. 260 to 50 is 210. 210. Now what do? Go back to the 6 policies, or the 5, whatever they have, turn them to the cover. This is not a difficult task, can be accomplished by almost everyone. Now, the value of the policy is on the cover. 30, you with me, class? The next one is 25, 55, next one's 20, 75, next one's 90, 165, next one's 10, 175. Man, 175. You only need 30,000, and you can get it for $80 a month. You see, I got the commitment. I don't care what this ends up, because see, this formula, I've got it all in my brain, the formula. You do that before times. You see, if a person is making 30,000 and they die, they should leave 30,000. Otherwise, they absconded. Why? I draw the death line. It's like this. There's the death line. If you die, you're dead a long time. Here's the inflation line. You may need 35,000 your family to eat 20 years from now, and you ain't coming back. There's only one coming back, and it ain't in this group. All right? Now, how do you arrive at this? All right. If you take this and multiply that by that and divide by 2, you'll get that income the rest of their life without depleting the principal. It's a simple formula, and you got to learn that. Okay, now, you with me? Isn't that good? Doesn't that beat the 27 phone calls, the 32 charts, the 55 computer printouts? Dumb. This industry keeps going with whatever everybody else goes. The stuff's getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Pretty soon, term insurance will be free. Take it. Try it out. If you don't like it, bring it back. But you know what? Take heed, all home office people. The day the agent can't make any money, the product will never, ever be moved. Because you know what? I ain't sticking around. You see, this business is just another business. It's good for me and I love it. But don't ever forget the practitioner. The product never will, it never has moved on its own. We have got to work with our people. We must explain to our people. We must serve our people. And then we can help them. Hey, I have 185 people. I handle all their investments. All their investments. I don't sell the investments. I just buy them and tell them, get what I'm getting. It's good. But they come to me. You see, and they come to you. You just don't sell insurance. How many people came to you, they have a problem with their kid or something? You spend time with them. That's the sociology. Okay? That may be the psychology. Maybe anthropology. They'll come to you and they'll say, John, we're going to buy this house. Do you think it's too much to pay? Oh, that has to do with finance. A little bit to do with marketing at the other end. You see, no longer can we just get involved individually. But you know what? Life's a series of adjustments. Tomorrow I can be gone. We're all here on a rain check. All of us. God is the author of our lives. And if you don't believe in God, I feel sorry for you. You have a mental hernia. You got bubbles in your think tank. We got to get back to a solid morality in this country. And I'll tell every guy here, if you're running around on your wife, you're a fraud. If you disagree with me, I'm happy to debate it with you on television in your hometown. All right, now. There's too many of you people. You're talking all the time and ain't saying nothing. We got to get back to some firm disciplines, okay? And don't blame the game, all right? You see, years ago, at the height of the great Caruso's career, he filled the house wherever he sang. And he left New York City and the critics gathered together. And one of the young critics says, I know why he does so well. He has the best advance man in the history of show business. Promotions are unbelievable. And a second young critic says, yes, and he plays the best theaters. And a third young critic says, not only that, he has 100 violin accompaniment. Never before in the history of music has anyone had that kind of backup. And there was an elderly gentleman there. And he said, I've listened carefully to what has been spoken. And everything you've stated is true. But please understand, there comes a time in the evening that Caruso must sing. There comes a time, guys and gals in our business, that you have to perform. Now here's what happens in the life of a disciplined person. I want to give you a couple Olympic stories. Stories that you'll never hear again. You haven't heard before because these don't hit the press. The first one, Harrison Dillard. My vintage, Baldwin Wallace College coach, attracting this young standout high school athlete, 120-yard high hurdle champ, state champion, luring him to Baldwin Wallace with the idea. He said, Harrison, if I can get you to go to Baldwin Wallace, and you will work with me every morning on your starting block first hurdle, if I can get you to the first hurdle faster than any other human being, no one will ever beat you in a 120-yard high hurdle race. The rest is history. He joined Baldwin Wallace College. He worked diligently every morning, a high degree of discipline. Pumped away. His junior year in college, he hadn't lost a race. He set the world's record in the 120 highs and finished 4 years of college competition, never losing a race. But that's not the story. The story takes you to California. The goal of every track star is to represent his country in the Olympics. At the Olympic trials, the greatest hurdler in the world, at the starting block, the gun went off and he never left the starting blocks To this day, he doesn't know what happened. A mental blank. The world's greatest hurdler would not represent his country in the Olympics. But he had the presence to ask the coach if he could try for the 100-yard dash. Not his sport. He finished third in qualifying, which meant he would represent the country. One of 3 Americans. Just by an eyelash, he finished third. But that's not the story. That year, Harrison Dillard won the gold medal in the 100-yard dash. And I think it was the coach that got him to go from the starting block to the first hurdle faster than any other human being that was the real catalytic agent for that success. I bring that out, ladies and gentlemen, because we all must have mentors. You agents have managers. The managers must come out of the locker room, must be ready to excel. Excel. I'm asking you to make a commitment to excel. It's fun to win. You do not learn one thing from losing, except how to lose. Winning isn't everything, but losing isn't anything. And when I say winning, I'm just talking about your development. The game is within you. Are you getting the most out of God's gift? I'm not talking about leading a credential. I'm talking about you developing you the way Harrison Dillard developed Harrison Dillard. The second Olympic story. A few years passed. Rayford Johnson. 6'4", 220 pounds, bronze human being. God sends those down here. I believe that. A perfect specimen of man. Odds-on favorite to win the decathlon, the winner of which is considered to be the greatest athlete in the world. The decathlon is 10 events. Not only is it 10 events, it's the last event of the Olympics. And at this juncture, 76,000 people in the stadium thrust their total attention on the javelin pit. Because 8 events had finished, there was but 2 left, and the world's greatest decathlon man was in 5th position. He had to win the javelin and win the metric mile. But not only that, after 2 throws in the javelin, he had thrown it worse than his high school years. He was in 8th place, 1 throw remaining. Obviously upset, obviously tight. 76,000 people observing the javelin pit. Nothing else happening in the stadium. This big lad put on his sweat clothes. And to loosen up, started jogging around the track. And halfway around, he knelt and prayed. Courage! Not a chameleon. He had the courage of what he had to do. He got up, went back, took the sweats off, and proceeded to throw the longest throw in the history of decathlon javelin competition. And went on and won the metric mile and won the gold medal. I give you those stories because if you're not willing to be disciplined, you cannot excel.